Hi, welcome to the fourth session of Communication Psychology course on Psychology and Mass Communication Systems. As information in session 2 and we already applied in session 3 last week, the Communication Psychology course will be a bilingual course between Bahasa and English. Hopefully we can develop not only our communication skill in Bahasa but also our English. So we will start with a PowerPoint explanation in English, but don't worry, for those of you who don't understand, you can immediately ask it during the discussion in the forum later. Okay, last week it was said that we will study about the symbolic approach to interactionism. Symbolic interactionism. But before discussing this topic, we need to know how mass communication as a concrete embodiment of this approach. So for today, we will start with discussion about psychology and mass communication system. As you can see at slide 2, the objective of our course for today include first, participants are able to explain, accompanied by concrete examples of the concept of the mass communication system. Second, participants are able to explain by concrete examples of mass communication systems. And the third, participants are able to identify changes in behavior based on change in mass communication patterns. And the keywords that we will discuss in session 4 are first, the concept of the mass communication system, mass communication patterns, and identification of change in behaviors based on change in mass communication pattern. So we will start our lecture today. I hope that you can learn well, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. You can ask me at our WhatsApp group or you can ask me privately. Okay, thank you. Please open the slide 3. Okay, at slide 3, you can see we have some activities here. For reminder, please write down what you have learned in session 3 before, related to intrapersonal and interpersonal communication. Please write in the box that I have provided for you. Please type whatever you know about intrapersonal communication and interpersonal communication. Okay, before you continue with the slide 4, today there are two topics that we will discuss. In general, we will learn about group communication, and secondly, we will explore more about mass communication. So now please proceed to the slide 4. We will talk about group communication. Conceptually, group communication occurs when a group of people interacts with one another. Actually, this communication is a form of communication that we have applied daily in our life, especially when there is no pandemic. For example, when you do your assignment, like course assignment, you do in group, right? So in that group, you will have some discussion, you will have some communication, and that is group communication. Contohnya kayak kalian mengerjakan tugas kelompok pada waktu sebelum pandemik. Nah, itu bentuk konkret atau contoh dari group communication. Kayak gitu. The mechanism is the same as the communication pattern that has been studied. There will be sender, receiver, and also noise, and etc. So, whatever the form of communication, never forget the topics in session 1. And we just remind at session 2. And also we just remind it again at session 3 that we learn about the process and elements of communication. Jadi jangan pernah lupa bahwa apapun bentuk komunikasinya, kalian harus tetap mengingat proses komunikasi dan elemen-elemen yang ada di dalam proses komunikasi. Kira-kira apa aja elemen yang membangun suatu proses komunikasi dan seperti apa proses komunikasi itu? Coba diingat lagi, dibuka lagi PPT-nya di pertemuan-pertemuan yang lalu. Okay, at the slide 5, you can see I just wrote down as a note, and please keep in your mind, because group communication involves many people, the potential for interference, or we call it noise, becomes even greater. Discourse can explain why when you do the college assignment, there can be misunderstandings. Approximately what distraction can occur when you communicate in a group. Jadi maksudnya konsep komunikasi kelompok itu tentu saja dapat menjelaskan kenapa ketika kita mengerjakan tugas kuliah bisa saja terjadi kesalahpahaman. Nah, kira-kira karena Anda sudah belajar tentang topik ini, gangguan apa saja sih yang bisa terjadi ketika Anda melakukan komunikasi di dalam kelompok, contohnya di kelompok tugas mata kuliah? Silakan didiskusikan. Okay, now we will talk about mass communication, the main topic in this session. In simple terms, mass communication is when we speak in front of many people. Mass communication is also known as a public communication. You often call it public speaking. Gampangannya, komunikasi massa itu adalah public speaking. Sama seperti yang Anda ketahui. Kayak gitu ya. In public communication, the speaker send a message, for example, speech, to the audience. Ya, contohnya kayak ini juga ya. Saya menyampaikan materi di hadapan Anda, misalnya seperti itu. Nah, opportunities for providing feedback in public communication are more limited. They can ask questions at the end of the speech or presentation, but they can also send non-verbal feedback by not listening. Kemudian saya merefleksi ya, I try to reflect why when we ask you some questions, do you have any questions? None of you ask about the questions. Perhaps this can explain why you not ask questions when we have a lecturing. Ini mungkin bisa menjelaskan ya mengapa pada saat kita lecturing seperti ini Anda tidak banyak bertanya mungkin ya, karena ternyata salah satu bentuk feedback terhadap komunikasi massa tersebut adalah dengan tidak mendengarkan atau dengan tidak memberikan respon itu sendiri. Oh, ternyata dengan tidak memberikan respon pun itu merupakan feedback terhadap public speaker. Nah, jadi ketika Anda jadi public speaker nantinya bisa menjadi evaluasi bagi Anda kenapa pada saat at the end of your presentation or at the end of your topic that you already delivered to the audience, none of them ask you a questions or response to you. Nah, memang sih public speaking itu perlu pelatihan, perlu pengembangan yang secara berkelanjutan, dan memang di mata kuliah ini kita tidak bisa provide public speaking yang whole banget, yang penuh banget ya, sehingga kalian benar-benar bisa menguasai public speaking tersebut. But at least when you implement the theory of communication, mass communication, I hope that you can start to be a public speaker if you want. Okay? Okay, let's continue to the slide 7. Now, at the slide 7, we talk about the tools. When some message delivered through the mass media, we call it mass communication. But if we refers to the tools, if the mass communication refers to the tools or to the mass media tools, we define as mass communication. Nah, contoh-contoh dari komunikasi massa berupa alat media massa ada 3. First, print media, electronic media, and the third, internet media. Could you give some example for each of these tools? For example, what the example of print media, what the example of electronic media, and what the example of internet media? You can type it on the PowerPoint. Oh yeah, for your information, you have take a note here at slide 9. When we talk about mass communication system, mass communication is more than just tools used, is more than a mass media tools. Nggak hanya ketika kita berbicara tentang komunikasi massa, nggak hanya berbicara tentang media-medianya saja. Okay? Mass communication is also inseparably from institutions that use machines to convey message. Mass communications also refers to complex organizational process that generate and transmit public message aimed at large, heterogeneous, and other audience. This concept is known as the mass communication system. Maksudnya gimana? Ingat, komunikasi massa itu tidak hanya sekedar alat-alat tadi yang kita gunakan, media cetak, media elektronik, media internet, and so on. Nah, komunikasi massa itu tidak terlepas dari institusi-institusi yang menggunakan mesin-mesin untuk menyampaikan pesannya. Kalau tadi kan hanya mesin aja, hanya alat saja. Nah, komunikasi massa itu juga melibatkan who behind the mass media. Siapa yang berada di balik media cetak tersebut? Siapa yang berada di balik media elektronik? Siapa yang berada di media internet? Jadi kita berbicara tentang orang di sini, tentang sebuah institusi malahan. Sehingga komunikasi massa itu mengacu pada proses-proses kompleks organisasional yang menghasilkan dan meneruskan pesan-pesan publik yang ditujukan kepada audiens yang lebih besar, heterogen, dan lain-lain. Inilah yang disebut sebagai sistem komunikasi massa. Itulah mengapa titik kunci dari komunikasi massa adalah kita menyampaikan pesan agar supaya dapat ditangkap oleh begitu banyak orang. Jadi di sini Anda bisa membedakan ya antara komunikasi massa dan komunikasi kelompok. Kalau komunikasi kelompok terbatas pada kelompok kita saja, hanya terdiri dari beberapa orang saja. Tetapi kalau komunikasi massa pengaruhnya lebih besar, jangkauannya lebih luas. Itulah mengapa hati-hati dengan mass communication. Kenapa kok perlu hati-hati? Nanti di segmen terakhir kita akan membahas peran psikologi dan komunikasi massa.